Hi everyone and welcome to the Recruitment Brothers podcast. With an age gap of 17 years and two heavy Swedish accents, we're here to cover everything about, you guessed it right, recruitment.
And now over to the older brother Rickard. Welcome to our podcast. Although recruitment is our focus, we will also talk about sports, business development and leadership. And we will invite some inspiring guests. Let's get straight into it. Hello guys, welcome back to Recruitment Brothers. Today live from Barcelona. How are you, Martin?
I'm doing great despite the tech issues that we've had again. We're, like you said, both based here in Barcelona but in separate rooms because this time we didn't figure out how to record in person. But it is what it is. The audio should at least be on point this episode. Hope the video quality is good as well, and we have a quite interesting episode ahead of us. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, today we have a really interesting topic, and especially in our industry, but also in general, something that is changing and shaping the new world. What is it, Martin?
It's a buzzword that's almost been so used now that you get tired of it. But it's AI and automation, and we're gonna dig a bit deeper into how that will be affecting our industry and our work as recruiters. Doing the research to this episode was a lot of fun because we learned a lot just this 2 hours when we were preparing for the episode. So I really look forward to uncover what we have found and to explore it further.
But before we jump then into the episode and say the first part, what is new since last time?
I feel like the last 2 weeks have been quite interesting. I mean, apart from the normal recruitment and everyday life, it's been quite a lot of focus from my side on business development and not per se doing business development, but developing our internal strategy for how we do it. We have a lot of new people internally who have transitioned into so-called 360 consultants who are doing more business development. But we have also focused on the sales enablement, how should we go about to do sales nowadays, and a lot of interesting tools. For example, we have now a strategy and tool in place that allows us to automatically do all the prospecting for us.
Do you have any results yet?
Yeah, actually, one of our colleagues, Laurencio, managed to book a call with an IT company here in Barcelona this week, a meeting that you were involved in. We also have a new meeting next week with a company in Stockholm who is looking for Finnish-speaking business developers, basically. So we're starting to see the first results. So it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to elaborate a little bit more on it later. If I return the question to you, what has been new since last time on your side?
Similar maybe to the topic of the episode today, we have been considering if we should change some of the systems and website partners that we're using. So we have been doing audits both on the ATS and CRM we're having, on the back-end tool we use for the websites, and also started to look into a bit more what kind of AI solutions and automations should we have internally. And also we joined a meeting with LinkedIn to discuss the new AI agent that come with their new concept RPS Plus. And it was pretty fun to see that we were early adapters, that we have adapted fast, and I think that is also one of our key values. So that's nice to see that the value we have in the company is also mirroring a bit of the development that is happening in the industry and also everything that comes with AI. So that's cool. So some new fun stuff from our CRM ATS provider as well, with some new chat GPT functions connected with the CRM and the ATS. So
nice. Yeah, you mentioned there the meeting with LinkedIn that we had in the week, and I was involved there as well. But I'm curious to hear, what was your main key takeouts from that meeting that we had with our account director?
The world is changing. You can see it a lot. And also that I think also LinkedIn feels it as well, that they need to start to develop new tools and new systems as well to continue being market leaders, and also to, make their customers happy, and so on. So I think that the meeting was really interesting to more discuss, like, okay, how will AI and automation stand out in our job? What kind of work tasks will it replace? And also, what kind of behaviors and skills do you need as a recruiter in the future to kind of survive in the business?
Mm?
Um, so that was a nice part. And also seeing now when they are changing from like Boolean search over to what is called like semantic
Yeah, the
search.
semantic search. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's
maybe you can dig into that
yeah. No, but
because
I've
you are
tried.
more tech than me.
Yeah, I'm a bit technical, but to be clear, it's also way too technical for my brain to understand like how it actually works. But in a nutshell, how it will work is that basically all searches that we have done now as recruiters, both in our own ATS systems or other databases, but first and foremost, LinkedIn, of course, has been a Boolean search. And I think that people who are listening to this and are working in recruitment knows what a Boolean search is. And if you don't know what a Boolean search is, maybe it's the first time you hear it. It's basically where you build up a function with keywords. It can, for example, be sales or business development and real estate or property. So you can kind of like find profiles who matches either of the keywords in different combinations. So that's called a Boolean search. But what we have been told now is that they are moving over to this semantic search, which is a lot more like how you can picture a AI prompt. So instead of building up this formula, what you will instead do is that you will say, hi, I want to find a business developer in Stockholm, for example, who has 3 years of consecutive experience within commercial real estate, and I want the person not to have been job hopping between jobs the last 5 years. I want the person to have been working for the same company the last 5 years, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And this have been a little bit more difficult to do in LinkedIn today with the Boolean search, because you're kind of limited to the flexibility of who you want to find, which profiles you want to find. You cannot put everything into combination, but with this semantic search, you will be able to put everything into way more combinations to find. So I think that's a very, very interesting change, and it will be a big change for people in recruitment. And it's something I'm looking forward to for us to, as they call us, early adapters, to adapt it and to stay ahead of the market, because it will be a big change.
And will it also help, for example, say that you want to find someone that should work on the UK market, and, for example, the person should be living in Munich, as an example,
Mm.
and then everyone on their LinkedIn profile say that they're native English today. Will this help in those kind of searches?
Yeah, that's also a good example of what the semantic search will be able to do. So, for example, in those cases, you will be able to find people who have lived in a certain location before. So, like you said, in the UK. So, instead of just filtering, I want a native English speaker, because everyone is putting that they're native on their LinkedIn profile, you will actually be able to find people then that are based in Munich, but they have either worked or studied in UK before, and you can be more assured that they are having exposure to that market, the UK market. Another example would be, for example, in our case, if we need to find a Swedish speaker in Barcelona and we want to find a person who could be open to relocate to Barcelona, but they have not actively put on their profile that, hi, I'm open to relocate to Barcelona. What we now can do with the semantic search is that we can search for a person who is based in Sweden. They are working in sales, for example, but they have previously lived or studied in Barcelona, which is not possible to search on LinkedIn today. So we can basically find people who have been here before in Barcelona, and we can approach them and tell them, hey, I can see that you spent 2 years in Barcelona between 2020 and 2022, for example. Would you be open
Yeah.
to relocate back? So that's another powerful use of it. But I think also another key part of what they also told us is that instead of us, building up this Boolean search and you get a result page, let's say you have 150 profiles that you need to review from your
Yeah.
search, with the semantic search, when you tell them what you're looking for, it's going to do the selection for you already. So those profiles that you normally check manually. Let's say it
Yeah.
takes you 30 minutes, 40 minutes to check through these 100 profiles. The semantic search will already do that for you. It will filter out anything that you have not asked for.
Yeah.
And you will be left with a result that should be, according to LinkedIn themselves, more, qualitative.
Will it be automated also with email sent to those candidates, you think?
That's how they described it as well. And they're already doing that today, of course, with
Yeah.
the AI assisted messages, which I'm not a huge fan of. Sorry to say, LinkedIn. I like to be a little bit more personalized, or put in my own selling points, for example. So we will see how that evolves. Maybe they have also done some development to the AI assisted messages. Maybe we can upload some kind of instructions to the
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Here is 100 previous messages that we have sent. I want you to
Yeah.
keep a similar style. Maybe that could be possible nowadays. That would be actually a huge development. But I think we will have to wait and see. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, they told me that they were going to roll it out somewhere around October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it will be like some kind of launch now in October. It have been in a like testing phase with a few of their clients and or partners, and I think it will maybe October, November. But you know how it is with testing; it's also like
Mm,
things take time. So I guess Q4. But
mm,
I think they need to speed up because there is some competition in the market and new things that are happening that we will talk a bit about
yeah,
later.
absolutely.
But also when we are on this topic as well, like for example, if you look at the industry now,
Mm,
of course it feels like I'm
mm,
interviewing you now, but it's a pretty fun topic as well, to just dig into a bit deeper. Like, we have AI, we have automation, and
mm,
many trends or people that are like speakers online saying that, oh, the recruitment industry will die out,
mm,
that the AI will take over our jobs, and people are worried, and so on.
mm,
What parts of the recruitment work today can be replaced with AI and automation,
mm,
and which part do you think will stay with a good recruiter? What do you need to do?
mm.
So first of all, what things can be kind of outsourced from your daily work, and what parts should be more focused on if you want to
Yeah.
stay in the industry and survive?
Yeah. No, but I think this is one takeout that I at least had from our meeting with LinkedIn as well, because it wasn't only about the search; it was a broader discussion about these kind of things. And I think we agreed that to some extent, yes, there's a lot of tasks and work as a recruiter that can be automated and replaced by
Can you
AI.
list the five that will be automated then?
I would say the search. So the CV screening will be a lot faster. Instead of these Boolean searches I've already described, we have a semantic search that will filter out candidates faster.
Yeah.
Probably then the outreach itself, whether to what extent you use it, but it's gonna be possible. It's already possible to some extent to automate it. Scheduling, like interview scheduling, will be able to be done completely automatic, and I think that's something that shouldn't even be a question. Of course, that should be automated and synced
Hmm.
with your own calendar. I think simple follow-ups, and I'm not talking about the follow-ups that we do when we call someone. I'm talking about emails, whether it's sending an information package to a candidate, whether it's sending interview preparation material, whatever it can be that you're doing on a repetitive basis because you're recruiting for the same role. This will absolutely be possible to automate. And probably some kind of CV scoring, and this will be quite interesting. I don't know how effective it is today, but you have a short list of candidates and let AI do the matchmaking for you.
Mm.
And of course it can't take into consideration soft skills and cultural values, and a little bit like you spoke about in an earlier episode, these skills that doesn't require talent, about coming on time, going the extra mile, for example. These things of course can't be matched from a profile, so that I would think be a good bridge over as well to what cannot be replaced by AI.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you have a lot of good
Exactly.
thoughts about that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, like you said now, like for example, that the culture fit, like that maybe a human can pick up, and like who are you going to reporting to, like who is this person, what kind of profile is matching with that
Mm,
person, and also who is matching with the company culture. That is something that is hard, maybe for AI robot today to
mm,
select and choose from. But also, for example, there's about the empathy in the process, the gut feeling of something. Also, sometimes, the outreach today feels very automated.
yeah.
So if you are connected with the automated email, it doesn't feel so personal, so you're not responding. But if someone
Mm,
actually approaches you in a personal level, like you said, that's why you're not using the AI message on LinkedIn Recruiter, because you feel
mm,
that you want to do it more personal.
mm,
So all those interpersonal skills will be important. And
mm,
also, of course, that you're a good seller. I'm not saying that only to convince someone, but like seller slash advisor, that you can be the link between a candidate and a client. You support both sides. You
mm,
are helping them to negotiate or understand each other.
mm,
And also, like, being a career coach for people. And also the same thing, being a headhunter, the old school word for a company. Maybe they don't want to go out in the market and show what they have opened. Maybe they don't want to show their competition what is going on, so they want us to go out and target their competitors for good people. So
mm,
so we will fill a role, but all the things that is administrative today can be removed, and you can focus on the candidate and the client and the actual work that creates
mm.
the value.
Yeah, to be the bridge in between.
Yeah,
And maybe also sometimes, being the advisor to the client,
exactly.
not always taking their brief and request for granted, but being able to coach them that, okay, this profile that you've been looking for in this location, it seems to be, for example, way out of budget for what you have been thinking about. But we can see that this is approximately the kind of profile that you can get for that budget. Would you be open to someone more junior and coachable instead, for that's matching your budget request? These sort of things, I don't feel like an AI is at the level right now that it can do it. This coaching and consultativeness that you spoke about.
Yeah. And also then being able, like, yeah, like we are doing already, to do it on a more wider geographical level,
Mm,
that you can help a client in different locations, cities, countries,
mm,
and continents.
mm,
So you understand the whole spectrum. And that is tricky to learn, because it's also culture differences, for example, in the Philippines, Germany, Norway, Spain, and Mexico.
yeah.
And this is also, like, if you build up this knowledge, so you understand that the role is the same, the company is the same, but the people you're hiring is a bit different, not
Mm,
in what they should deliver, but
mm,
how they act, how they behave, and also what is important for them. Like, in Germany, okay, things need to be very A4, you need to be in time, everything should be structured. What is the legal terms,
mm,
maybe if you take a job in another country, it's more like, okay, we have a gentleman's agreement and we start to work almost. and
mm,
and and in some countries you need to be in time, in other countries it's more flexible when you
mm,
arrive and show up, because it's also normal to work late. But in another country, you want to stop at 4 o'clock, because it's important to go home and you have to travel many hours to your work. So,
mm,
understanding those things when you're doing the work and when you're trying to match,
mm.
that will stand out, in my opinion. And
Yeah,
that is what you need then to build up a knowledge about.
yeah, absolutely. No, and I think another thing to build up the knowledge about, because maybe people who are figuring out about this semantic search, for example, will be somewhat anxious because, okay, what if AI now can find and filter out 300 candidates in 1 minute instead of me? Then
Yeah.
AI will be replacing my job. But what we then spoke about LinkedIn with, and what we kind of agreed on, all of us, is that, yeah, but the skill will then rather be behind the control panel. So
Yeah.
you have to develop the skills in how you do these semantic prompts, for example. How do you use the semantic search?
Yeah.
Because people will be able to use it better, and people will be able to use it worse. And it's the same thing with LinkedIn today. We have clients that we support, of course, who have LinkedIn themselves. They have LinkedIn Recruiter, but it's also about your skills in using the tools that are available. So I think that will also be something to be you have to be early on, and not like anxious about, rather just how can I learn it and become the best in the industry to use this new technology.
Yeah, exactly. And there's one thing that we have maybe missed out on that I have tested myself the last week.
Okay, which
AI
one?
robot interviewer.
Okay, like screening call, or what are we talking? I assume it's a screening interview.
Yeah, screening call, but like almost like a full interview for a job. So it was a test, of course. It was about a marketing job,
Okay.
but it was real questions. And like if I replied with an answer, the AI interviewer actually took some context of what I said and kind of replied with, "Oh, it's nice that you're an entrepreneurial person, you know." And then the second question came, you know, so, so it was pretty funny. And if, of course, you go in serious into the talk,
Mm.
it feels real, to be honest.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
almost when you call your online bank, you know, today you can call and they ask like, "Oh, do you want to talk with an advisor?" You know, it's
Yeah.
similar.
But better,
um
I assume,
yeah, of
because
course it
that
was
bank
better.
robot is horrible.
Yeah, no, but it was similar for the ones that have not tested it in a way, so you
Okay.
understand the feeling of it. And if you would ask, for example, the online bank robot, like, "Oh, what is the interest rate today on this," for example, then it could answer on your question. And this AI bot did the same, but it was more also, of course, programmed with questions and info about the
Mm.
company. So I could even ask something back, and I got an answer. So it was fun. So I
Mm.
think that can replace at least the volume recruitment of interviews, and it can also be done 24/7, you know, all
Mm.
days every week, you know, like. And also like the AI robot is also in the same mood all the time, so it's not like if I had a good morning, that depends how my behavior in the interview as a recruiter will
Mm.
be, you know, that the AI robot will be on the same level all the time, so the experience for the candidates will be the same.
Yeah. And I guess this AI robot can also do 10 interviews at a time.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it doesn't have a full calendar like we have sometimes. It can actually,
No.
do it multiple. Oh, but super cool. And that's it. It is like both fascinating, but at the same time a bit like, whoa, what's going on? Because okay, if the candidate selection and the search is gonna be automated, if the reach out is being automated, and now also the interviews, like where where should we add our value? But I think we touched a little bit on it earlier with the cultural
Exactly.
selection and the consultativeness and so on. Yeah, what do you see internally for us today that we have done progress on? Because we have had this 100-day plan, and we have also done, of course, work before that, and always tried to stay on top and tried out different tools and so on. But what do you see are the main things and the progress we have made so far?
No, but one thing is, we have a colleague internally, Alva, that is like really strong on the tech part, and she's very interested into AI and automation and those kind of topics, if you call it like
Mm,
that. So she's very technical herself, and we have a few others. You, Martin, is one of them as well, and we have other colleagues that
mm,
are smart and technical and from the more new generation that is growing up today. So we see that, for example, like Alva now have developed internally like AI agent.
mm,
So we should be able to ask simple questions to this chatbot and get, you know, simple answers back. So we don't need to chase information everywhere. And also,
mm,
for example, if we want to have automated job descriptions or presentations and stuff, that, you know, everything is customized for us or for some
mm,
of our clients, so we can use it for more internal work, and that the work will be the same for everyone. So
mm.
everyone have access to the AI bot, and everyone can then, you know, help us in our daily work. So
Yeah.
that is something we work on. And also, like from the audits now with our ATS and CRM system, we are also doing some tests. So we have a power team internally that will start to test out new functions in the system and see if we can do things better and faster as well. It's something new developed as well with Access that we're using called Evo, and Evo is also automating stuff. So if this will like speed up things in the system as well, or
Mm,
help us to find data and, you know, take out analytic reports fast, and we can also see, you know, how we can develop and where we can develop. I think this combined will be good.
mm,
So we have a power team now that will test out new things. And like you
Mm.
said, I feel also that we have been early adapters in that sense that colleagues come up with ideas themselves when they
Yeah.
feel that something is boring or it's tricky to fix, or they want to save time or whatever it might be. They come up with ideas themselves, and internally we are very open for people, or say colleagues, to share info. You write a weekly report, you do a quarterly meeting, you pick up things. So if
Yeah.
Martin, if you come up with a smart thing and an idea that you implement in your daily work, then you spread it in the office, and then it come up into the company level, and if it's a good thing, then we roll it out. So
Mm.
we have some nice things going on and some nice things implemented, but I feel that we should take it also step by step, not
Mm.
being stressed and then do everything at the same time. Implement small things all the time and adapt to the future and try to figure out like how we can stand out and what we can do as a company, and then see the
Mm.
results of it.
I agree. It's like often these ideas sparks when there's a colleague or yourself that you're, you know, stumbling across a frustrating task that you're doing daily, or you feel lazy or something, is boring, like you said, simply. So that's cool. But what would you say, if you as a recruiter or company in general, doesn't need to have to do with recruitment, but you as a business leader, you feel a bit anxious and stressed about catching up with AI and with automation. What kind of approach should you have now when everything is moving so fast?
But I think that you should not be too stressed and forget about your core business. But of course, you also need to see if your core business is up to date on what is going on in the world.
Mm.
And then maybe, like I mentioned a bit in before, like, yeah, but take it step by step. So for
Mm.
example, like in our case, I asked you to list like 5 things that can be automated in the future and done
Mm.
with AI. But of course, now if we start to do our job descriptions will be done automatically with help of AI, if our info packs will be sent out automatically with AI,
Mm.
if someone pre-book our interviews into the calendar done with AI, if all those things, step by step is happening, then we are developing and
Mm.
are integrating those tools and systems into our daily work. So don't stress too much. Have control on your own business, but see where there is room for, development,
Mm.
and then take it step by step, because
Yeah.
there is always new trends in the market, always new
Yeah.
trends. It's not only about, for example, now it's maybe about AI, and I think we can discuss this later as well, but it have also been about climate change. Okay, then you need to change your policies. Or it's about
Mm.
COVID, then it was new rules how you should act and be in the office and
Remote.
which day you can go
Yeah.
there. And I think you can jump on it as well later, but like metaverse, okay, that was a
Yeah.
thing that you should be in the fake world. And and
Yeah.
there have been so many things, and everyone tries to adapt to the trends that are going on. But like, of course, implement a policy then maybe about how you should be climate friendly, but doesn't need to take all the time from your business. AI will be here for the future as well, so it's
Yeah.
not about winning the race here, because there is so many out there as well, doing the same thing as you. So it's not about winning now, it's just adapting.
Yeah. No, but you're right there. There's so many technologies that are coming, and then people jump on it. It's the new future, and then they're fading out. You mentioned metaverse at one point. We thought that we were gonna sit there with a headset on, and we were gonna have virtual meetings together instead of just using Teams or Zoom. But yeah, see how that went. Same with the NFTs and the QR codes who are fading out. So new technologies come and go, and they come faster than ever now. Also, it can be, for example, early 2000s, 2010, 2015. It always took a couple of years before something new and fresh came, but now I feel like there's coming something every quarter. So you
Yeah.
almost you can't get stuck with these annual plans with the tools that you're signing up for. You almost need to take it month by month now, because something twice as good might show up in 2026 January now. So it's about
Exactly.
taking a bit easy and seeing where things go. But like you say, the obvious things that we
Yeah.
can automate, of course, address them.
We discussed a bit internally, but you have been involved in a big thing that we are doing internally, like you mentioned a bit about the business development part. So
Mm.
maybe we can dig into that a bit as well.
I mean, with the business development, automation, and yeah,
Yeah, and also like how we see the new world and the old world, and new school and old school meeting kind of.
it's a quite interesting change, I think. And it's also something that it's ideas that came from me doing manual tasks and spending time on stuff. And that one thing was prospecting in recruitment, seeing that the most typical way to prospect would be you find a job who is being advertised by a company, you find the decision maker behind that job, and you contact them to, first of all, you find their contact details, and then you contact them to pitch your services and explain that you can help. But that whole thing we have kind of automated now. So whenever a job is being posted on our specific niches, if we take an ideal client for us in Sweden, for example, it could be that they are recruiting for certain languages, for example, a German speaking account executive in Stockholm. So we have set up now a agent for us, you could call it, that is scraping this information for us on a daily basis. So, for example, if a job is posted today, we will get notified, and this agent will also find the decision maker for us because we have feeded it with information who we are looking for in general. So once the job is being posted, the decision maker is also being found, and their contact details is being found. So within a matter of 5 minutes instead of 25 minutes, or in a matter of seconds, basically, we have a fresh job lead that has been posted on our ideal market. We have the decision maker and we have the contact details. Now, what we also tried a bit is to do and it's a very sexy idea, to also automate the outreach itself, because then you would have a business development engine that is just going, it doesn't sleep, it's going while you sleep, basically. And how that would work then is a similar. The job is being posted, the contact person is being found, the decision maker, their contact details are being found, and then the outreach is done. And it's also personalized because we have done lead enrichment automated through that process. But the funny thing that maybe has happened the last weeks is that we have decided to do a little bit of a 180 on that last part, which is the outreach, to go back to a bit more old school values, you could call, or old school outreach. I mean, we did manual outreach 2 years ago, so it's not something old school. But what we do now is that we have the agent doing the prospecting for us, but at the same time, once we have the lead, we are reaching out to them manually in a personalized way and also doing cold calling. So we kind of mix the new, very, very modern tools and with, for example, something as old school as cold calling. And it's very interesting to see the effects of that, because we can be very effective with the things that take time, which is the prospecting, but the things that are fun and the things that actually creates value and can make it or break it moment is the outreach. A bad cold call or good cold call could be, defining if you get the business or not. The same with the email. So that thing we want to still control as a company. We want to be able to, personalize it, also calling after we have sent an email. And no, it's really interesting to see now. We have just tried it out for a couple of weeks, but the effects that we see already.
Also, like, I think what you, like you say, the effects of it is really nice, but also in the past it was like call centers everywhere, and there was like sellers that call you all the time with different sales strategies and approaches, and they try to book meetings with you or sell you a mobile account or a product or whatever it might be. So they spammed you on the phone. It was annoying, and you needed to block certain numbers not to call you all the time. So that was like the approach in the past. Now it have turned. So now it's more that you get 10 sales emails every day instead.
Yeah,
And it's
in the
with the
junk
same kind
folder.
of approach, but because everyone is using some AI automation tool to do it for you. Like you said, it prospects and find me, okay, Rickard is the CEO, let's connect him and try to sell our services. So I get 10 of those emails every day now, but no
Yeah.
one calls me. That is what, of course, in our case, so maybe some people listening now will take the strategy from and start using it as well. And like I say, feel free, because I feel that this is, like we said, if we automate away some parts in the process, both on recruitment or on sales, then we have more time to be the advisors, to be the sellers, to be the recruiters, to be the headhunters,
Yeah.
and also interact with people again, because this is something I think will be important. And I see that the role of a manager in the future is to learn colleagues how to talk with people, how to interact, how to discuss things with different personalities, with different nationalities,
Mm.
If someone say this, what should I answer back? Okay, when should I, be offensive? When should I be defensive? When should I give up? When should I approach them again? Like
Mm.
it will be a lot about learning out those skills. And if you then listen and learn and actually, adapt to it, I think it will be something that really stands out.
Yeah.
I would
So,
be personal if someone called me today and say like, "Hi, is it Rickard, CEO of Worldwide Recruitment?" Yes, it is. Okay, nice. You run a company in 7 different countries, right? Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Like, what do you want? No, but we have developed a new AI interviewer robot called Lisa, and she is taking all the interviews for you. Is it interested to have a 30-minute call next week, and I can show you online how it works? Perfect, Martin. Thank you for calling. Let's book the meeting. That would
exactly.
make me interested. But now I get 10 emails about, new AI tools for sales or BD work or SDRs or
Yeah.
AI robots or transcriptions or mock CVs, so it's just a jungle. But if
Yeah.
someone would call me with a direct approach, I would be more interested to book the meeting.
No, 100%. I couldn't agree more. I get these sales emails all the time, and I don't understand why I cannot even remember the last cold call I got. And it's not difficult. Like, my LinkedIn profile is publicly listed. It says that I'm somewhat of a decision maker within the company. My phone number is publicly listed. I will be 100 times more likely to listen and actually take in the sales message if someone just picked up the phone and called me.
Yeah.
But I think it's that's when, when we discussed that you can take these new technologies and AI a bit too far, that you go all in on it and you forget about your core business, which is sales, and sales is conversations. The easiest way to have a conversation is to pick up the phone, but instead, and still, we get hundreds of sales emails that end up in the junk folder, 70% of them. So
Yeah,
no, it's
but every
interesting.
company in the world is doing sales, so it's not something bad. Like even if you go to the food court, they are selling you something. That's why
Yeah.
they have signs about
Yeah.
prices or products or where they from, because they
Mm.
are selling you food. It's
Mm.
the same whatever you buy a car, buy a house, buy a service, buy a product. Like everything is sales. If
Mm.
revenue doesn't come in, then
Mm.
there is no business tomorrow. So
Mm.
learning sales in all kind of different levels in a company to a certain level, and then of course have some sharks that are super strong to bring in new business. You have some farmers that take care of the existing business, and then you have some kind of sales support in the company that help out. Like for me, HR today as well, it's also business. It's like HR business partner. For me, it's more relevant that like HR something, because
Mm.
you support the business, and that
Yeah,
is
exactly.
HR related today.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. No, but another thing I just wanted to mention on the interest about, automated prospecting and what I've been working on is that we are now also exploring a way where we can prospect and find companies who are willing to use our services before they even advertise the role publicly. So to give you an example, let's say that an IT director in Sweden has recently left their employer. Our system that we're working on now will pick that up and give us that information. So we will see that John Johnson just left IKEA as an IT director. The agent will then also find the decision maker or the old direct report for that person in the old company, and we will have that lead in front of us. We will have the knowledge that they have lost their IT director before they've even thought of publishing it online. And we could then simply give them a cold call, say, "Hi, I noticed that John, your IT director, just left IKEA this month. Would you be in need of support to find a replacement? We have 5 good candidates in our pipeline." So that is also one thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing the effects about. That it, doesn't only have to do with job postings nowadays. It can be about career movements in the market. The same way if account executive today get promoted to a sales director. Oh, I can see that John Johnson got a promotion this week. Congratulations on your promotion. Would you be in need of support to help fill up that spot that you left behind? So it's very interesting and proactive prospecting.
One last thing for the episode today. I
Mm?
have heard rumors about a LinkedIn killer, and it's pretty fun that Microsoft is also owner of
Mm?
this company, co-owner,
Yeah.
and that is Martin.
OpenAI. Surprise,
Yeah,
surprise.
yeah. They
Yeah.
have something going on in the background that will be launched next summer, and I think that some companies out there is maybe now afraid of what is going to happen when OpenAI
Mm.
launches this. Can you give
Mm.
us some pre-info? I know you did some
Yeah.
research.
Yeah, I've tried to do research on it to the best I can. They have some articles that they have released themselves, and there are also other articles out there. But to be honest, still it's quite a vague topic. I don't think they have gone too far on it yet. But as I understand, it will be some kind of new job market platform powered by OpenAI and their technologies. How it's gonna look, how it's gonna work, it's still a bit unclear, like mentioned. But for example, the semantic search is gonna be there, what LinkedIn is now trying to implement. Also, the like candidate matchmaking for hiring companies should also be there somehow, where it's automatically when you post a job, it's being like mapped already when you post the job to find you the best profiles. And from what I also understand, that kind of sparked the idea to OpenAI to start with sort of like AI use certifications. So whether you are an entry level person today or a C level, companies that are hiring today, they are looking for people who know how to use AI. And it's also not only how to use AI in like improve this message. We're not talking about that kind of AI use, but how to prompt scripts and how to connect OpenAI to other tools with API and so on. For example, I saw that the word prompt engineering, so the skill of being able to generate good prompts, that job requirement that you can find in job posts today have been over 500% increased the last 2 years. So that's
Yeah.
something that companies are actively looking for right now on the market, people who can generate prompts basically. And this is something that OpenAI will start to release certifications on, so you can prove to your next employer that, hey, I'm an AI ready candidate. I might not be the perfect fit when it comes to this, and this, but I'm very up to date with AI, and here is the proof from OpenAI. So that's kind of cool. I think a little bit similar to how you have certifications on LinkedIn today, but
Yeah.
more AI related.
I know it will be connected to what you just said about like new ways of working, and also that it will actually, like we said, if automation and AI will remove some tasks for a recruiter, of course, maybe some recruiter jobs will disappear.
Mm,
But at the same time, like new jobs will also be created with AI and all those different things. Like you said, a prompt engineer, it can be AI workflow designers. You can build
mm,
workflows within recruitment, how things should be set up. Also, that you can build like some AI ethics and compliance systems. So you need people for that. This human AI collaboration trainers, like I
yeah.
talked about, will be important as well. So you need to have AI coaches inside the company. So now it's more like what this can generate of new jobs in the future, if you know what I
Mm,
mean, and if those things become more and more, a part of the work. And then of course some other kind of positions as well. This is what I think AI and open AI will create.
yeah.
uh,
It will be
and yeah,
interesting.
it's interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting.
And particularly interesting what you mentioned there, that of course Microsoft owning LinkedIn also has
Yeah.
a quite big stake in OpenAI. So I'm wondering how they kind of plan it internally. Like, will they be allowed to compete? Will they somehow collaborate, or how it will look like? But it will be an interesting trend to follow. It's going really, really fast. So I really believe that next year it will be launched. I have zero doubts about it. So we might be up for a big change in the job market, like when LinkedIn was released back in the day. That was a big change in how we search for jobs and how we, you know, communicate professionally. Maybe there will be a industry disruptor, so to say, coming here in the next months.
Yeah, I also embrace the future in a way, but it's also nice if we then add in those different things, like I said, and maybe you also start to work more on the human AI collaboration, and
Mm,
also figuring out like what things should we really strengthen? Because I feel that maybe on the relationship part today, the humans have started to, go back. But if we can, get the relationship, interactions built up better, and how we communicate, and maybe also like, yeah, but what is going on in the world today? It's like either or, but how can we make things match and
Mm,
work together instead of against each other? And I think communication will be the key to that, and also that you learn to build relationship, respect different cultures, and
mm,
again, use things for its purpose.
absolutely. How do you see we have already touched on it a bit, but how do you see the profession as a recruiter? Do you think it's threatened here in the next 5 years?
I think so. I already see it in our company. We needed to downsize the amount of recruiters at that period because we recruited a lot in customer support, and many jobs disappeared, was replaced by AI and so on, and
Mm,
voiceovers and stuff. So yeah, I think so, but it will not, I think also the fittest survive. You need to find new ways. And I think that the profession recruiter will mean something more in the future. It will not just be an average job, but you will be a real like consultant advisor,
mm,
and you would need to have knowledge and be trustworthy, and you need to know what you're talking about. And it's not
mm,
only about having a mobile phone and computer anymore. It's actually about having
mm,
some intellectual skills and behaviors in your way of working. And if you have those and you can
mm,
add that value to your client, and I think
mm.
in no matter what industry, then you will survive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think it will die out, but it will mean something else, like you said, in the next 5 years. So yeah,
Yeah. Anything would you want to add, Martin?
no,
The new generation.
I think it's been a really nice discussion. I know that it's a bit overused, the buzzword of AI today, but it is really interesting, and it's inevitable. Really, probably, we could make another episode about this in 6 months, and we will speak about completely different things because it's
Yeah.
been evolving so fast. So I look forward. Try to not stay anxious. Try to stay optimistic, and try to make the best out of it.
It have been an interesting topic, like you said, and I hope that this episode really helps the listeners to reflect a bit,
Yeah.
and also to help them to think a bit about what is their current situation. You may maybe reduce the pressure a bit
Mm,
about being updated about everything. Like, take it step by step,
mm,
analyze your own work, see where you can improve some parts, where can I use AI, where can I use automation, and then
mm.
become strong on your service.
Yeah. Absolutely. Then thank you to all the listeners once again. It's been nice to have you along. You can expect the next episode to be dropped here in 2 weeks from now. So let's see now if we suddenly start to get a good amount of cold calls after this episode, or if it will stay to cold emails. But yeah, hope you have
Thank
a
you.
good weekend, everyone, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you, everyone. Bye
Ciao,
bye.
ciao.